Welcome to Window on the World. I'm Lisa Oligas, and today we are in conversation with students here at Missouri Southern State University from Saudi Arabia. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'd like to start, we're going to go down the line, but we're going to give you each time. Tell me a little bit about yourself, your name, what part of Saudi Arabia from which you come, and then tell us what you're studying and what you hope to do after that. So we'll begin with you.
Okay, so my name is Mohammed Al Mutawa. I'm 28 years old. I'm from East Side, from a city called Qatif, and I study computer science here. Currently, I work in IT I've been working with them for 3 years now, and I'm graduating this week, actually. Yeah. So I'm trying to find a job after I graduate in here. So for maybe 1 year or two to work in here and maybe go back home.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, next, your name, tell us where you're from and what you're majoring in.
My name is Turki Al Ataibi. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I live in the capital, which is Riyadh. I'm 26 years old. My major is paramedic, and I've been here since 2015. It's been a journey.
So when will you graduate?
That's a question I would. It
Can't
depends.
answer?
Yeah, it depends on life situation, stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, my plan is maybe get some experience here. I did some internships. I have rode on an ambulance. I went on shifts in the ER. It was interesting, very interesting in both ways. But yeah, my plan is to go back home. It's a big responsibility for me as an older brother.
Okay.
And this family.
All right.
Have to go back to family and
We'll
stuff.
talk more about that. Let's hear from our next guest, Mansour.
Hi.
Tell us your name and your study and all that.
My name is Mansour Al Aqal, and I'm from Saudi Arabia, of course. I'm 22, and I'm a paramedic student also. I'm planning, we have the same thinking. I'm planning to stay for a year after I graduate, or 2 years, get some experience, and probably go back home and work in the field back home.
And where are you from in Saudi Arabia? Do you have a certain city or province?
Yeah, I'm from the north side. It's a city called Hail. It's basically a valley, surrounded by mountains. It's a pretty nice city. We get visitors from all around Saudi coming to our city.
Size-wise, how would it compare to Joplin?
It's pretty small. I think it's the size of maybe a little bigger than Joplin,
Okay.
but not that much. So it's a pretty small city.
So we'll go back. Both of you are training to be paramedics. Let's talk about, will you have similar jobs when you go back to Saudi Arabia? What is healthcare like? I mean, would you work on an ambulance? Would you work in a hospital? How does it work there?
So for me, my goal is to be a flight medic. That's something I look up for. But normally it's the same thing, kind of people. We have a lot of EMTs in the field. Paramedics tend to be more in the office or ERs, focus more. But yeah, I mean, the goal is flight medic, and that's
Flight
something rare, back home.
Yeah. We do have MedFlight here in Joplin, which works at our local hospitals to transfer patients. So, Mansour, is that about the same? I mean, what would you like to do, in the world of
Before
paramedic?
coming to MSSU, I wasn't planning to be a paramedic. I was planning to be a doctor, but I didn't have that much of a knowledge and all that stuff and passion. So when I came to MSSU, I found my passion being an EMT or a paramedic, hopefully a paramedic when I graduate. So that's what I will probably do when I go back home, in the field, in my ambulance and all that cool stuff, interesting stuff. So that's my goal when I go back home.
You said you found your passion here. How did that, how did that unravel for you?
It was a recommendation before I came. I came from a university in Ohio. So when I came here, I wasn't sure what major I was gonna get. So one of our friends, he told me to try the paramedic program or the EMT program, and I said, "Why not? Let's give it a shot." And I did that last year, fall of was it 21? 21, yeah. 21. Yeah, I did the class, and I was enjoying every day. I couldn't even skip the class because I was having fun in the class. So that was honestly the best semester, like my educational life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you mentioned, both of you mentioned, the need to go back home because it's a responsibility. Tell me about that in your culture. You said you're the oldest. Is that a tradition that the oldest would be there? I mean, why is that a responsibility?
It's not so. A lot of people tend to not pay back the family, but like make up for what the family did. So let's say my dad, like my hero, you know what? So like a lot of times, the things he provided, that care he gave, my mom as well. So when they get a certain age, and also me when I get to a certain age, like in my adulthood, let's say, I want to be the one who's actually taking care of them.
Yeah.
And also, like the responsibility comes on siblings as well, because siblings, they need someone to look up for. So I'm trying to be the best, my best image for them.
Certainly, I mean, I know in the Native American culture there is a certain appreciation of our elders, and so that's very important in your culture.
Very, very important.
And so, tell me what your parents do. I mean, do they both have careers?
My mom is a teacher. My dad retired from the military, and my mom's still teaching. She's like a religious teachings teacher, and she's my support. All of that. I mean, she's a teacher, so she likes education. She pushed me forward to education, get more education,
Yeah.
and experience in life.
Mansoor, you said the same thing. So, you feel like it's a responsibility to go back home?
Definitely, yeah. I'm not the biggest. I'm like in the middle child. But it's still a responsibility, like on all of us, all the siblings, to take care of the parents. I mean, my parents are the reason I'm standing here right now. I'm sitting here on this couch. They paid for everything, my mom and dad. And my mom, she's like, I love my mom. She's like the love of my life. So she did everything for me. She paid. She was my emotional support. She was everything. So that's the reason I'm here.
You mentioned emotional support. Is that something you all feel like you need as an international student, being away from home? Can it be hard to be away from home?
I think it depends on some people. For me, I was kind of an independent person since I was a kid. So even when I came here to America, I didn't really feel kind of away from home, I guess. So I guess it was kind of okay for me. But I think it depends from people.
What do you enjoy about international travel? And I mean, have you been to other places besides the United States?
Yeah, I've been to Japan. Yeah, it's a really great city. So going to different cities is always fun because we always experience new things. Yeah, because it's just way too different, Like maybe the weather is different, the activities are different, the food is also different. Everything there is different. So yeah.
And have you enjoyed that?
Yeah,
Some
of
of the
course.
differences here?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Like so, when I first came here, I was studying in San Diego. Yeah, in California. So California weather is one of the best. Like to be honest, yeah. It's really, really great. Yeah. I did study there for like I guess 6 months or so, and then I went to a college in Houston. Yeah. Houston was like kind of hot, to be honest. Yeah, but it was really similar to Saudi, so it wasn't really that. Like it was kind of okay for me. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it can get very hot in Saudi, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think it can reach like 120 or something. Like it's really, really hot there. So yeah.
So help us understand, if you're in hot weather in Saudi Arabia, is there a certain way to dress? How do you tolerate it? Or is it a different kind of heat? Like we're in the Midwest where there's a lot of humidity and it's not very comfortable. It seems miserable, it seems oppressive, but yours is maybe a more dry heat. Can you guys explain that for me and tell me how it's different to the same?
So the weather back home is dry, cold or summer. It's both, like very dry. So the way we deal with it is actually the way we dress. And our formal attire comes from kind of like the background of the area itself, the history of it, and we have something called shumag, which is cover the head from the sun, direct heat, and also helps the flow of the air around the head, especially, and the thobe, which is like a long white for summer, colored in winter, and that's because the material is kind of thick, so it helps you stay warm. But on every day, people tend to stay at home from 12 to 3.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, if they don't have work. No one works outside during this time because it's the highest heat, and people get like a heat stroke and stuff. So yeah, we try to avoid this much. But other than that, yeah, it's like if you want to visit, it's like you enjoy it more during the winter because there is more activity to do. There is flexibility with anything you do.
So you're kind of limited by the weather, and so you kind of adjust your schedule. Your daily life schedule is even adjusted to, like you said, most people stay noon to 3. So is lunch and dinner at different times because of that? I mean, do you have dinner at a later time? I think you mentioned that earlier. What is it like there?
So lunch usually, I think it's kind of late compared to here. Usually we have lunch after 12. Some people have lunch from 1 to 3. Yeah. And for dinner, it's mostly late too. Like if we have lunch, like for example, 3 p.m., the dinner would be like 8 or 9.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then is bedtime also later?
Not really, actually.
really?
Yeah. Maybe 11, I guess. Like maximum 12.
But that's still kind of late.
It
11.
depends. It depends on how people's schedule.
If, how early you have to get up the next day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
most of the time, maximum 1 or 12.
So just have to ask, what do you think of Missouri weather? Because it can be kind of crazy. What are your thoughts on what it's been like to live here? Were you ready for it?
Well, I mean, I think we all agree that it's always changing.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's always changing. Like sometimes it's hot, next day is raining.
Yeah.
The same day at night is, I don't know, snowing, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, like next day again hot and raining and like cold, and.
So was snow something you had experienced before? Or
And Saudi, no.
This is our first experience. I
Yeah,
guess.
the only
Experience,
place
yeah.
that like snows in Saudi is like the northest part of the country. Other than that, there's no snow. Like we get like what do you call it? The dry ice.
Okay.
Hail?
Sleet?
No.
Hail.
Hail.
I guess.
Hail. Yeah, hail.
Hail,
Yeah, we get hail, but other than that, no.
Wow. And it was the first time you'd ever seen snow?
Yeah, when I came here 2015, I lived with the family, and it was around the time of like I would say January when I moved with them, and then within like a week or two, I woke up one morning, I walked outside, and it was like, I would say, it was very deep. I was maybe 6 inches, like, and it was my first time seeing snow. Like, the whole street is just white, covered in snow. It was fun. It was a very fun experience.
Yeah.
I thought it would be freezing more because when you see it on TV and stuff, you would think like you can't stand there. But actually, I think snow is kind of warmer.
Yeah, it's not as bad as when you have ice and actually your dry Arctic air. If you would have in Saudi, you say it's very dry. When it's cold, it can be very cold, right?
Yeah, it's very chilling. Yeah, I mean, you feel it in your bones. We'd say. Yeah.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other things about your nation that you would like to share with us, because you are our window on the world. So tell us a little bit about Saudi Arabia. One of you, can you tell us a little bit about entertainment and what it's like there, whether it's inside the family or in like the city? Do you have festivals? Tell us about that. Who would like to?
So we as a community, we are kind of close from each other, like whether it's a family or friends. For example, for me, I meet up with my cousins almost every day.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah. We play, for example, card games. we have lunch, we have dinner together sometimes, and I think this is mostly for both of,
Everyone,
like
yeah.
all of us, I guess.
Yeah, so extended family, but also you said friends too, though.
Yes, yeah. So friends, it's kind of different, I guess. You can you can be more comfortable with your friends more than your family, I guess. I guess it's more fun that
Yeah.
way.
Mm.
Yeah.
Depends on the side. So the way I see it is like each family has a side, either the mom side or the father side, that people would be more flexible with, and the other side would be more formal. But for friends, sometimes you make friends and they become like a family friend.
I see.
They will, they will get to know the uncles, the cousins, everyone in the family.
So is that something part of Saudi Arabian culture, and that you're very welcoming to, you embrace friends as family? Is that common?
I would say something. So, let's say, just like outside in the street, I said hi to someone, we started chatting. I wouldn't end the conversation before I offered them to come but to my house for a cup of coffee or tea. So that's how welcoming everyone is. Like the culture, the people like to get, I don't know, like close in a way.
You want to get to know someone. It's not casual. It's not in passing.
Yeah.
You try to learn to know about them deeper.
Also hospitality, kind of.
Yeah. Speaking of hospitality, my city, which is High, is like known for in Saudi Arabia to be the most generous when it comes to people, and that's something I'm proud of. That's something I try to represent always, even with my friends and all that. And even your neighbors and everything. Like you get to know everyone, your neighbors, the guy down the street, everyone. You like welcome them, and like you can invite them for tea and coffee and like meals and all that stuff.
So is there ever a worry about the economics of that? I mean, I know that, here a lot of people are like, well, I can't afford to feed everybody in the neighborhood. How is that dealt with there? Or is it just you feel like you have it, you share it? I mean, does that ever a factor when you're saying, being generous and welcoming folks?
A lot of people get to the point where they offer what they have just to be hospitable and don't think about it. It comes out of the heart most of the time. But I mean, we actually never thought about the financial side of it,
Yeah.
because I don't know, I don't think it reflects, because sharing is caring, as you might say.
Yeah, and we also believe that if you give, you get some too. So our life is we always give and take. For example, I know some cities back home. Whenever you go there and you if you want to meet someone there, you always see the doors open. Yes, yeah. Like every home there, every single home, the door is just open for everyone, for anyone. They just go inside and they just have coffee or have dinner, I guess, or something. So that's how generous people are.
So is that something that comes from your faith, or is it cultural and part of the faith as well? I don't know if you're all of the same faith. Tell me about that.
I mean, it's both. It's both faith and cultural. Faith, like we were raised in our religion, which is Islam. All of us that we should care for everyone and should share and be good and generous with everyone, and that's also implemented in the cultural side. So we're also raised on that. So
Yeah.
Do you have big families? Are there many children? I don't know if that's common. Tell me about your families.
The families are big, and back home you can find 10 siblings, 15 siblings.
Yeah, it's common.
My family is made of 6 siblings, both of the mom and dad, so that's 8. And I think
8.
8.
8?
Yeah, we are 7 siblings.
Yeah, and you can find people all the way to 15.
Yes, yeah.
So big families.
Yeah.
It's a really big family.
Yeah. Big family.
They can start a football team with that family.
That's nice though. Then you always have somebody you can relate to.
Yes, yeah. That's
you
true.
know. So let's talk a little bit about the education you're getting here and education in your country. Is it different? Is it the same? You know, do instructors teach differently? How would you compare?
Well, it's I think it's different, a little bit different. So we have 12 grades in total. We have elementary school starts. I think it was it
Seven.
seven, right? Yeah, 7 until 12. So we have six grades there,
Okay.
and then middle school starts. We have 3 grades, and then
High school.
Yeah.
So
3
very
grades.
similar.
Yeah, yeah. But I think here they have to the 9th grade, I guess.
It depends. I mean, other different. It's community based,
see,
so
I see.
they
Yeah.
can decide. And
Yeah.
some private schools go all the way to 8, and then you go to high school for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th
Mm.
grades.
When
Yeah.
it comes to universities, it's honestly I would say it's different because here you're more like close to the professor. You can talk to him, go to his or her office. You can email them, like meet them, whatever, or even after class. But back home, that's not maybe after class, but other than that, you have to like meet an assistant or something.
So it's not encouraged to talk to the professor.
Yeah, so it's
necessarily.
pretty difficult to like
Really.
interact with the professor. after
Yeah,
class.
unless they want to talk to you.
Mm.
But other than that, yeah, it's kind of formal.
Okay. Do you find that to be a good thing for your learning experience to be able to communicate with your professors?
Definitely, yeah. If I have a question, I can just meet my professor, email my professor, and like get the question done like in an hour or something. But rather than wait like a week for a question that like maybe it's about the final exam, which is like in a couple of days. I don't have a week to wait for the professor's response. So yeah. But another fact about the universities back home, if it's a government university, you get paid to go to school.
Wow.
You get paid like 300 every month.
It's like a support for books, for
Kind of like a stipend or
yeah.
per
And
diem kind of thing.
you get
yes.
that in the governmental universities, like $350 every
Wow.
month.
So that's a little bit different. So let's talk a little bit about what you do for fun in Saudi Arabia. You mentioned playing cards.
Yes.
Our movie's a big thing. You know, we have bowling alleys here. What kinds of things would you do in your homeland that are fun to share with us who might not have ever gone there or visited there? What would we like to see if we did for fun?
That's a good question, actually. We do have, for example, like bowling. We do have pools. We do have
Concerts.
concerts. Yeah, we do have
So
concerts.
music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
music.
yeah. We do have amusement parks too. Yeah.
And
So-
also we have historical places like
So and where would be some place we would want to visit if we ever went to Saudi Arabia? What stands out in your mind as, oh, hey, this is an exciting place to go?
Probably Riyadh.
Yeah, I think
Riyadh.
Yeah,
I think
Riyadh.
Riyadh is the best place.
See,
yeah.
I'm from Riyadh, and I kind of disagree with them. No, Riyadh is a very like big city, and it's like where everyone look for a way of life.
Mm.
If they want to move, they would want to move to the city because it's kind of bigger, more opportunities, more stuff. But anywhere you go, north or south of Saudi Arabia, you would find something that is very like historical.
Mm.
We have a city, I don't know how old it was, but still like in a good shape. It's called Rijal Alma. It's in the south,
Mm.
and it's like one of the places that you see the old way before the modern buildings and stuff. And there is the curved mountains,
Oh, okay.
Al-Ula, it's called Al-Ula city. And there is, it's like you see these mountains that are just curved in, but in a very precise, very detailed. And this goes back to like years and years, like
Thousands of years, probably.
thousands,
Yeah.
exactly. But I don't know how the exact number, but
Yeah.
like 300 years would be enough to just make you stand and question,
Mm.
Yeah.
how did they make this?
Right. So, and then share with us what you've enjoyed about being here in United States, Missouri, and in Joplin. What are some of the things you've seen that you you will take back and talk about when you go home?
I mean, the communities. I don't know. You can help me
No,
with that.
well, I was gonna say the people actually make everything nice. Most of us when we came here, it's a different culture,
Mm.
different everything. I would say,
Right.
the language, everything. So, not for us to deal with people, but for people to deal with us and how we take it. I think since we came here, it was a very amazing experience.
Mm.
People made it much easier for us to focus on school, focus on life and education. So, yeah, I think people here very
We-
nice.
Most of us, when we came here, like back home, most of us were like depending on their like family when it comes to like living and paying rent and all that. Even though that they still like help us with like money and all that stuff, but you have to pay your rent. You have to go to the like office or something. You have to buy your groceries. You have to do this and that. And most of us didn't do that much back home. So coming here, it was a whole like new experience.
It's a life education.
Yeah, life
Yes,
education,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's the best part about this experience.
Mhm.
That's
And-
what I'm taking back home.
Yeah, and I think what's more important is to know how to cook in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like really, really important part. Yeah. So because our food is kind of different. Yeah, we always miss our food.
Do you?
Yes, yes, yes. So we always try and like cook. You know.
So a favorite dish you have, what would be a favorite dish that would be from Saudi Arabia that
Oh,
You must.
this is really hard to.
Everything's good.
Yeah, this is really hard to pick. But I think I would go with kapsa.
capsa?
Yeah, this is like a rice with chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes with meat. I like.
And this,
I prefer the meat. Yeah.
yeah.
it's like a famous dish in the Gulf countries,
Okay.
but people cook it in a different way.
It's just how it's prepared is all the difference.
It's,
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's all stand for the same thing, principle and
Yeah.
everything.
Mm.
So then, is there any food you've discovered here in America that you like?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. I never knew about mac and cheese back home. Like, there's no like quick mac and cheese like you can find at Walmart or something. But when I came here, they gave me like at the university, they gave me like a pack, and I was, what's this? They just put it in the microwave, and 30 seconds, and it's done.
Yeah.
So we don't have that. At least I think we don't have that back home. That's something interesting I found here.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, it has been so great getting to know all of you. Thank you for sharing parts of your life and parts of your country with us on Window
Thank
in
you
the
for
World.
having
We
me.
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having us.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that wraps up this edition of Window on the World. Thanks for watching.